everyone, welcome to Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the trade review for this entire week between March 21st to 25th, and I'll be telling about this trades that I've taken and what is this log that I'm doing. First, we'll just look at the trade review that we had between March 21st until March 25th, Monday to Friday. What are the best trades we could have taken? We'll review each day quickly. So some kind of a recap is always good, so I thought I'll do this video. And I do have this other trading account, one of my family members, a close family member, where I'm doing this exercise of trading in one lot futures for 1 month, just to show for a video and just to track it, how much we can make with one lot futures in 1 month. I'll be trading only in futures. I'll be showing you the trade book and the PNL and everything. So first let us just see the entire week trade review. What are the best trades that one could have taken? See, when I show the best trade, it may or may not be even I would have taken that trade. There are a lot of trades, some good trades even I miss out, right? And depending on various scenarios, either I could not capture it or I didn't notice it for any reason. But for this video is only about backtesting, and I'll be letting you know the trades that I took also. So first, starting off, so for this video I'll be using only the CPR values. This is the historical CPR that I've plotted from our indicator, and at the max I'll just show few things using the moving averages, and we'll be using RSI, that is as usual. So starting from Monday, this is the March 21st, this week Monday. See, we kind of, after having the last week, after 3 days of holiday, last Thursday we had a pretty flat move, right? This move is nothing, pretty flat move. So on March 21st we got a small gap up, and that gap up was immediately sold into, see, we had a narrow CPR, right? So we were expecting a kind of a trending move on the downside, and we did also have this kind of the support line here based on the price action. So the moment that and this S1 broke, right, and it was all this S1 and the previous day low was almost the same. So the moment on this red candle, this is one trade that even I have taken. The moment this red candle came on a 5-minute chart in Banknifty, when this S1 broke, we could have entered with R2, sorry, S1 and S2 as the target and S1 as the stop loss. If any candle that had closed above S1, we would have taken our stop loss. See, we almost came and hit S2, just few points we missed. Again we went up, took very good resistance at S1 again, and then dipped until S3. This is another trade that we took, especially when this candle came. This was our entry candle and our stop loss was this S1, and we traded this entire move on the downside. Now just looking at how that entry candle could have been decided is, let me just do a replay over here and show you at what candle formation I would have entered. See, this is just a replay of the chart that I'm doing. See, we got one nice red candle showing rejection, but immediately there was no follow-up. After after 2 red candles, then we got this breakdown on the downside. This would be my entry candle. At the low of this candle also I would have entered, okay, and the next candle also was pretty weak, and my stop loss would be here itself, S1, right? So by now, if you have entered here, you will be in a little bit of profit, not much. See, this candle is showing that we are kind of breaking this S2, right? At the starting of the formation of the candle, we were seeing that it's quite strong and we are ready to break this S2. And we also had this kind of a support run because of the morning early opening support that we had here. And see, this break itself showed us that this candle is pretty strong enough to break this S2, and that's why we could have waited for S3 or waited in the trade and not taken an early exit, because you see the kind of candlestick that is formed, a nice big, what do you call that, Marubozu candle, like a proper good strong candle is formed, and RSI is below 42. So the moment this type of a breakdown comes, you will bring the stop loss, your trailing stop loss, from S1 to S2. And what I wanted to show you is this, right? See, when I would have exited this trade is the moment S3 was the next target, right? The moment this candle formed where it hit S3 and made a wick, I would have booked my profit. Obviously at this point I would have been in more profit. I saw this wick and I'm exiting. I would have lost a little bit, but you can't capture everything in trading, right? So at this wick there is some rejection, so I would have booked my profit, right? Now just see the difference between see, this dotted line is also a pivot. Okay, let me just mark it in case, or let me just make this a little thicker. Sorry, let me mark this. See, this is S1, the first line is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. Okay, so we entered over here, I entered over here, saying this is a nice big red bearish candle, we are rejecting S1. I entered here. Sorry. See, this is also a pivot, right? S2 is also a pivot. So our first target is S2. See the kind of candle that this formed where it is breaking S2, and see the kind of candle that this is formed at S3. So this is showing that there is a nice rejection over here. S3, we have already reached S2. From S1 we have come to S3 of CPR, and there is a rejection. So this is a very good sign to exit when you get a wick like this at a support. And if a support breaks like this, this is when you can stay in the trade. Or if somebody hadn't entered, if for some reason if I had not entered here, right, definitely I would have entered at only this candle when this S2 is breaking. And even if I had missed this, I wouldn't have entered here. Why? See the kind of wicks that we are forming. We should always be careful with this kind of wicks, that when it comes at a good support or a pivot level or a price action support, when you're making this wick, most likely we will be rejecting this bottom support. So that's the reason we need to be careful. Always look for a nice breakdown candle like this. And then I think we just kind of stayed in this S3 level for rest of the day, right? And got a small bump. See, if I had waited all along, okay, for a scalping trade, like a quick trade, right? If I had waited all along thinking that S3 is going to break, here in options I would have lost all my profits. Even though if I had entered here, say if I was at some 20k profit, by here I would be again back to like 9k or 8k profit, right? So the moment it hits the pivot, we need to exit. And say if this is again a bearish day, and even if S3 is breaking again, then we can always re-enter. Now again, say after this 2-3 wicks, I got another nice red candle here. Definitely I could have entered again, right? That's another art of booking profits at the right intervals. So this was the trade, like how we could have dissected on Monday, and this was a pretty good day. And this entire week, since we opened within the, see, all the days we opened between the CPR and S1, that's why the trading was easy. Okay, for like, yeah, obviously like for some they would have felt the trading is difficult, but you see, trading within the pivots, meaning whatever this thumbnail said, whenever we open between the R1 and CPR, or CPR and S1, trading becomes very easy, right? That day will be a very easy day for intraday traders. And this entire week we did that. On Monday, again on Tuesday, you see we opened between S1 and CPR. This was again a pretty good trade. See, the moment this S1 broke with a nice strong candle, I personally took this trade on the downside. Okay, I'll be telling about this up trade. I didn't trade the entire move. I'll just show you what I could capture with my best knowledge that I have. See, if there are people, or if somebody is way better than me, they would have even entered here and exited here. Okay, but that's not how we do it, right? We do what we can, right? We should have that type of a mindset. That's the only thing that helps me in the market. See, when this candle came, right, I took a short with S1 as my stop loss, because what does that CPR logic states? If the previous day low and S1 breaks, we could hit S2 of CPR, right? So that was the reason I entered here. And this is almost like the 15-minute candle, right? 2 5-minute candles is done, and the second 15-minute candle is here. I think I entered at this hammer, but ideally I would have entered at this hammer itself, because we got a nice rejection from the top side. But this was again a best entry, this candle, the moment it broke this S1, right? This was a beautiful candle to enter with S1 as the stop loss. And the moment we make this, see, everything is there in the price action, right? When you just dissect and see how important these wicks are, it's quite easy to understand. See, the moment this wick was rejecting S2, it was a good sign that, see, after this 2 red candle, this green candle would have come, right? Anybody would have got a little shaky that, okay, now this full green candle came. Let me just do that as a replay and show you. Now, say on this candle, I am taking an entry. Then nice, this breakdown came, good. See, when this green candle came until here, that's not coming in. Okay, that's too fast. See, when this green candle came, right, so anybody would have thought, okay, we might be reversing on the upside. But the moment this this wick was formed, let me just go back to the chart. The moment this wick was formed, right, this reading this wicks in intraday is an art, and it's not an art, it's the most important thing apart from seeing all the pivots and all that. Because on this 5-minute chart, the wicks shows a lot of things, right? Tell us a lot of things. The moment this kind of big wicks were forming, we know that we are rejecting this S2, S1 of CPR. Okay. See, I might by mistake interchange, but the first line is S1, second line is S2, below that is S3, obviously, right? So the moment this S1 is rejecting, see the kind of fall that we had, and see that pin bar, that doji candle that comes exactly at S2 of CPR. So this, even if, see, over here we would have been in little more profit. The moment this pin bar came, if somebody had entered here or wherever they entered it short, this is a definite exit for sure. This is a nice good trade. And this, we were also had this gap area over here, so we had a pretty strong support at this area, right? And obviously if this S2 had broken, we would have entered short for sure. See, this kind of confusing trade price action would have come where, see, this candle showed that it's going to break S2, right? If I traded this, even I would have definitely entered for sure. But the moment you see this doji and this green candle forming, right? And it's almost like an morning star that is forming here on the 5-minute. So the moment you see this bullish price action, you're going above S2, immediately exit your trade with whatever. Now say you entered over here, okay, and by whatever lots, now just assume you entered with 10 lots, like whatever I do. Now on this green candle I've lost say 3000. Okay, see, don't see the PNL and exit. Okay, that's one thing that is very important. Never see the PNL and exit, because once you see the PNL, we will become very emotional. There are more chances that we might not exit the trade thinking that we will recover. We should always exit the trade looking at the chart, right? So the moment this green candle came, even though if my PNL was like say minus 3k or something, if I had exited, okay, thinking that this is a wrong trade, it's going wrong, it's still fine. Because in intraday, if you lose a little money because of this entry exit, like say 2-3,000, depending on whatever the capital is, we can always get another entry which will recover everything. Fine. See, now say if we had made some good profit in this trade on the downside on Tuesday. Now we took a trade over here and you went under loss here. Now say assume in this trade you would have made around 15,000. Okay, in this trade you lost around minus 3,000. That is still okay, no problem. But in this up trade, even if you had caught half of this trade, you would have easily recovered this lost 300, plus we would have been in another 4 or 5,000 or even like 10,000 rupees profit. Right? It might not happen every day, but whenever the move comes, when we trade, it's all good. Now again over here there was a confusing candle where we went down. RSI also was below 42, but the moment this green candle came, whatever loss we had, we could have exited. At least I would have exited. That's what I do. Whatever loss I was in, I would have exited. And this is not a small green candle like where we can expect a red candle after this. This is a nice bullish, very bullish candle at a very good support. This is not only the CPR-S2, we also had the price action support, right? It was there all along in all my analysis, where we had this kind of a price action support here. So a lot of supports were here based on the price action and the pivots. Got this nice bullish candle. So the moment this type of a bullish candle comes at a support, that's when we look for if there was a divergence on RSI. Not at every instance we should not be looking at divergence, otherwise we'll be only looking this up, down and divergence, bullish, bearish. You look for a divergence when you get a bullish price action at a very important support. Important meaning at a good support. See, I should not be looking at divergence over here, like the price went up. Now I should not be, my mind should not even be thinking that I should look for divergence here. No, why? There is no resistance, nothing. This is just a small bounce and then the market came down. But the moment you see a good support area, bullish price action, that's when you look at divergence. And 5 minutes was showing on this day, even 15 minutes was showing. I'd shared the same thing in the, where did the chart go, 21st, right? See, even in 15 minutes, if you find this type of divergence, right, most likely to work than 5 minutes. The price was making a low and indicator was making a higher high. I had posted this in our Cosmo feed, I very well remember, because I entered after posting that. This is 22nd. Yeah, this is the one where I posted, because the moment I saw this, I didn't even have the time to type bullish divergence. I just took a screenshot and posted it. Whoever knew the bullish divergence, probably they would have understood. because a lot of times the entries will be so narrowly timed, you won't even have time to take a screenshot, put it there, and then type like whatever we need, right? See, though I saw this bullish divergence, I could only enter after this S1, right? I could only enter after this bullish candle. I kept the S1 as stop loss, CPR as the target, and the moment this red candle came, I exited my trade and I was done. See, when the market moves almost 1000 points, as an intraday trader, if we can catch half of 1000 points, or even 40% or 50%, if we can catch, that is more than enough. So this was how the trade could have taken place on Tuesday, and this is Wednesday. Wednesday was a very easy trade. Like, I'm sure a lot of people would have made money on Wednesday, especially those who know CPR. Okay, now what I want to show interesting thing on Wednesday is a lot of people messaged me saying that they went long here thinking it's going to be a breakout. We had a very good resistance. This line was there in my analysis. We know it, right? We exactly took resistance there where we had marked earlier. Now on this 5-minute chart, I want to use this replay to show this. See, this is where we opened on Wednesday. We got the first 5 minutes open. See, the exact candle, when this candle came here, right, it almost looked like it's not even coming in this replay. But when the second 5-minute candle came, it almost looked like we are getting a nice bullish day over here, right? When this candle was right at this resistance level, it was looking like a bullish day, and a lot of people went and bought calls and lost money. See, we entered the moment we got this inverted hammer. I just took an entry, okay, because see, the best entry in this type of R1 reversal is when this opening low goes, because the distance between the R1 and CPR and the previous day high was pretty huge, right? The previous day high was here, R1 is here, and CPR is here. It's pretty huge, and we have a pretty small candle. So best confirmation is when this low goes. That is the most safest entry. But based on this R1 reversal, right, my success is more on this R1 reversal to CPR. So the moment I saw this, this wick, I took an entry, and personally for me, the best stop loss was R1, but I could afford to keep it until this high of this wick. So I was ready to square off if we break this wick, and my trailing stop loss was R1 of CPR. And then see the fall that we came. And this video is also there on I put it on YouTube, right? The trades that I've taken. So the moment it reversed, and I'd put the same trade even on our Cosmofit group. See, the moment this wick came, by the time I could take screenshot, already the second candle started coming, right? And then see the kind of fall that we had. Obviously, we entered at the 20 MA. We exited at 20 MA, then again did some scalping and made some money. So this Wednesday was a pretty easy trade. Now this is a Thursday trade where it was a little tricky trade, but it was easily tradable. See, this fall, the moment this fall came on a Thursday, like where the option premiums are pretty less, I go with little more quantity. We got about 500 points fall. I just didn't want to sit in front of the computer anymore, just closed and went, because maybe we'll get tempted to re-enter. But this was a nice fall that we got. See, we opened below S1 today. See, the moment we opened below S1, the trading kind of became irregular. Whenever we opened between this R1 and CPR, the trading was pretty beautiful. This was a very tricky day, but very easily tradable. See, the first candle itself, the first 2-3 candles itself didn't break S2, right? This was a nice place to go long, but after this long bearish day and a gap down, our mind will give us like conflicting views, right? Whether to short or go long. So even if we had waited, it's not a problem, but based on the only technicals, if you see this S2, there was a nice rejection. So if anybody had gone long, that would have been very good. But I have not taken this trade. I clearly remember I have not taken this trade. And even after this green candle, I could not take a trade. I was waiting for a nice candle to close above this S1. I had a view that we might hit even this previous day high and fall, or if we break this S2, we might go down. That was my view. Then we kind of made this nice, like we got a small dip. I entered at this candle. These are the type of bullish breakouts that I look for, right? I've shown you the examples here on this day. When this breaks, I entered, we made money. When this breakdown came on 21st Monday, I entered. On this breakdown also I would have entered. So like that, I look for a strong break of the candle. So after this nice bullish candle, I thought we'll be hitting the CPR and the previous day low. So entered at this candle. Fine. Entered at this candle and immediately booked my loss when this candle was forming. When the candle was even halfway, I took out my profits. Then I was like, okay, if we again retest and we go, I'll re-enter again. But I was losing a lot of profits. On a Thursday, you can't afford to wait for too long, right? So I was losing, like the premiums were dropping. So immediately I exited. The price action itself is suggesting that this is not a valid breakout, right? You have 3 doji candles. So for the 5 minutes, that 15 minutes we had a doji, and then we are getting a nice red candle on the downside. So immediately exited my position, whatever long I had entered. Now see the difference between this breakout on the upside, which failed, and this breakdown on the downside, which worked. And see this breakout on the upside, which worked. See, this was also a bullish candle. See the follow-up that we got a nice bullish candle. So when you keep getting this bullish candle follow-up, that's when we can stay in the trade, right? I'll just minimize this and see the difference between this breakout and this breakout. Both are good breakouts, nice good bullish candle. We cannot say anything about this candle, we cannot say anything about this nice bullish candle. See the follow-up that came in this, again a nice bullish follow-up. But see the follow-up that came in this doji started forming. The doji pattern itself shows some kind of a reversal, right? And that too, not a doji where we are making higher highs, we are making lower highs, right? Even on 5 minutes, this is very important, analyzing that. See, we are making lower highs. Obviously, I didn't exit because of this lower highs. I exited when almost this nice red candle was forming. So basically when this doji low went, I immediately exited my position. I was like, maybe this is not going to work. So my plan was, why I exited was, see, first of all, it was a Thursday, the premiums are dropping, we're making lower highs, we made this red. My other plan was, if we come again retest this S1 and bounce, I will re-enter. That's not a problem for me. I have no problem at re-entering in a trade. Then I was tracking this trend line. The moment this red candle came and this candle opened below this trend line, this was the beautiful entry. This itself was an entry when S1 was breaking. Plus we had this trend line. So either this candle or this candle was the beautiful entry, and obviously we had our targets on the downside. Then we remained choppy. In the end, being a Thursday, I kind of was expecting that we might break out of this if the RSI supports, but that breakout never happened. And this type of like irregular candles we will be seeing on Thursdays, where you get a nice bullish candle and immediately get a nice sell-off. This is all part of the expiry trading. And this is the last, this is the 25th, this is the Friday, today's trade. I'm recording this video on Friday at about 1:20 AM in the morning. See, today the best trades were just looking at the CPR, right? I'm not putting any moving averages, no monthly pivot, weekly pivot, nothing, only the daily pivot. The moment we saw this red candle, we could have taken a shot. We had this previous day low here, I think, right? Previous day low, we could have booked a profit here. That was one good trade which I missed. I have not taken this trade. Obviously, like you would have seen my post in Instagram, the trade that I took was this, when kind of this trend line broke. Again, I was ready to square off here at previous day. I thought I'll just take a small scalp, no problem. But the kind of follow-up that we got, right? Again, a nice bearish candle, we dipped. So almost close to S1 of CPR, we booked the profits. So again, today was a pretty nice day. And there was another trade here which I didn't like take. But again, when this trend line broke, we could have entered. We could have caught these two red candles and done a scalping. So this was the trade review. I hope this was helpful for this week. And see, you can backtest and see whenever we open between R1 and CPR, or S1 and CPR. I don't know, but I find it very easy to trade. But I'm sure when you backtest and see, a lot of people will find it very easy to trade as well. And also the moving averages helped us in this week throughout. Like, it was beautiful the way you see how its price was taking resistance. This thick line is 200, the red is 20, blue is 50. The way we were taking resistance, right? And there are some setups based on moving averages itself. I usually keep 100 hidden. There are some nice setups in based on the moving averages itself. If anybody wants to learn in detail, they can check out this video. The cost of this video is not much. It's a very nominal price, so you can just see this. There are some good setup and like some good content based on moving averages. Now coming to this exercise that I'm doing. See, I won't be able to do this in my regular account because my capital and what I invest will keep changing, right? I put 10 lots one day, I put 20 lots one day, I just trade with 5 lots depending on the market. So to do something consistently for a month, just to make a video and just to see what setup I'm using, and I had made a video of this trade plan, right? So I thought I myself will do it. A very long time since I've tracked every trade like this. I should do this in my early days. So I'm trading in another different account. This is one of our close family members account, where I'll be trading only in one lot futures. That's this whole exercise about, trading with one lot futures for 1 month and just to see how much we can make or not. So this week was pretty good. We made money on all the days. This Tuesday is one. Let's see what happened. Tuesday was a good day, but I'm not sure why we didn't make much. See, this was Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday is something, I don't know, not sure why we didn't make. I think I just traded only the downside, not the upside in this account. So it's difficult managing both accounts, right? Because in one account, this futures is fine, up to some extent manageable, but the options, you just can't take your eyes away from that account, right? So my first priority is my account. This is second priority. So in this account, I'll be trading only with one lot futures, and this week was pretty good. So my plan was to capture about 100-200 points in futures and see how much we can make. So the first day was good, second day okay, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and today was really good. Today in this account I kind of, so this is today's trade, right? I kind of like probably caught this move until here, this breakdown, this entered like almost 200 points in futures. See, future trading is very easy compared to options trading, because in options you'll have to look at many things to keep stop loss. In futures you can just even keep your entry as stop loss and do it, but obviously you need the right technical analysis knowledge and stuff. So this is what we could do, a total of 18,000 in futures. This is the P&L report for one lot, showing 18,500 and 2,800 charges. Okay, I'm not sure why 2,800, and security transaction tax 1,200. I didn't know that for futures we have to pay more tax, or I'm really not sure, but it's showing 2.8, and it shows I've traded 400 quantity of futures this entire week, meaning I'm not, one trade is not 400, overall it's 400. Now to show that one trade that I'm actually trading in one lot futures, I'm going to the trade book, and from March 21st to 25th, see, I took over this account from 21st. See, you can see the buy sell, it's only 25, the lot size is only 25, so I'll be trading with only one lot for the next 1 month, and my capital itself, whatever capital is there in this itself, is what I can trade with one lot. I can't trade with more lots. It's only 1,70,000. So just doing this exercise for a video, and probably weekly I'll just do this trade review for the entire week as well and see. So this first week was good, so let's see how the rest of the month goes. Hope this trade review was helpful for this week based on the CPR pivots, only the CPR, right? You just need only CPR to do intraday trading. Anything else that you learn and use is all an added advantage. That's what my opinion is. And this week was pretty good. Hope even next week will be the same. And thank you for watching. And if anybody has any doubt regarding this indicator, it will be launched this Sunday morning. Thank you.